That's the intro music.
Yeah, exactly. That way we can't get copyrighted.
There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Freestyle Frenzy Sunday. Frenzy Freestyle Sundays from Children of Primus.com.
Frantic Frenzy Freestyle. Frantic.
Frantic.
Frenetic.
So this
Pheromonal.
This week we'll be going through the different types of all the usual weekly topics, and we'll be speaking about Hasbro's Star Saber release that they mentioned. We'll also be speaking on the What If that was released earlier this week that a lot of people have to debate about.
And the what if? So is the what if related to any of the current news, or is it just like out of the blue, straight out of your imagination? Okay, just a fun game.
Well,
there was one other current thing that's going on that I wanted to talk about. Aside from did you hear that Hasbro Pulse is streaming the original the 13 episodes, the original Transformers G1 episodes?
No, I didn't hear about this. When and where?
Yeah, so
are they playing?
You can just, from what I understand, I just heard this on Tiberium Hangar, that you can just, it seems as if you can just go on Hasbro Pulse, or maybe it's the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel, and you can just watch the first 13 episodes.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty neat.
I know.
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's different, and he was comparing it to what they did with the G.I. Joe. Like G.I. Joe, they were just live streaming a loop of random episodes. They weren't even in sequence, just random
I didn't
episodes.
Even know that.
So, yeah. So this is better. This is like, you can actually watch in sequence the first 13 episodes of Transformers. So that's cool. And then the other thing that's cool that I just heard, again from Tiberium Hangar, is there is a new company, new KO company, that is doing a knockoff of the Magic Square Stunticons.
How many versions of a Stunticons, like toy versions, exist?
In Legend Scale, there's none. In Legend Scale, it was only Magic Square. Okay. At least with the modern stuff. So, so that's kind of big news because I wasn't in on that set because of how expensive it was.
Right.
So if this comes through, what up, Calvin? So yeah, if this comes through at a better price, I'll get it. I don't know if it's just Mech Fans Toys, and it is it's a KO slight oversized, which is normally what Mech Fans Toys does. So it might be Mech Fans Toys just using a different company name, or it could be, or maybe not. I prefer, if I knew it was Mech Fans Toys, I'd just tell you I'm in on it 100%. Given that it's that it may be a different company, got to see to make sure the quality is okay.
A different company, as in a associated with a different company. They had a name change. Like, what do you think, or what have you heard?
Well, this happens a lot with third party, and especially with KOs, is that they try not to get caught, so they just kind of switch up their names every once in a while.
Right? Okay, that's kind of wondering if that was the case.
Oh yeah, that's common. But still, it's not a guarantee, right? Because it could be a new company, or it could be any other company just trying to do this, without using their name.
You go to their office and on one day, and it's like they have like a red sign and everything. Come back a couple months later, it's like a purple sign. Company
we should do a skit.
Still the same employees.
We should do a skit like that. No, he don't work here no more.
Oh.
No, who? Professor D? No, he doesn't work here.
No, it's
Wrong
like
company.
where's
They just have like
where's
scratched out.
where's John who was in charge of manufacturing? Oh, it's Jack now. John's not
Yeah,
here anymore.
that's right. No, not here anymore. You look the same.
No,
No, look at my shirt. It says Jack. What are you talking about?
which at that point it's like then they'll have all the variations of the names again. So instead of Motor Master this time, it's what would be like Brute Wheels.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they always change the names. Third party always changes the names.
Right.
But this is this. This is actually the perfect. This is we talked about setting up a debate with Tim K and Bobby versus me and Mike from Tidy Arm Hanger. So this is now the perfect topic because Bobby's favorite. Not the perfect. I mean, the topic is KO versus no KO, and copyright infringement, right? What's the real difference? But just the fact that this set is now coming out would be a good time to reignite it, because Bobby's favorite team is the Stunted Cons, so he'll be extra invested, and I'll have to devastate his arguments. And Tim said he could be pretty savage too, so we'll have to see.
Nice. I guess the other thought is, if a third-party company produces whatever line and starts selling it, and do they sell out what they currently have in production before doing a name change? Because at some point, if they make like 1,000 figures, are they gonna do the name change through? Do they sell out all 1,000 and then change the name? Or I'm wondering how does that all play out logistically?
I'm not getting the full. I didn't get the full question because you're cutting on my end. You're cutting in and out a little bit.
Okay.
So let
sense,
me tell you what I got. Let me tell you what I got, and you can clarify. So you said you're talking about a company, like a third-party company or KO company, selling out a product, and then you're also talking about a name change. So I got that much. So what is the question beyond that?
Yeah. So the question is, say that company made like 500, 500 Transformers. Do they sell out all 500 and then do the name change, or at some point do they think they're going to hit a legal issue, and after they've sold, say, like 250, they change their name, but then what happens to 50? As you put yourself on mute.
I just went in the other room. I may have two mics here, so
Okay.
I just had to turn that down. Okay. Now you're still seeing me in this camera that I'm pointing at, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and you hear me?
Yeah.
Do I sound as clear as I did before, or any better or worse?
You're good. It's still the same.
Same? Okay. Yeah. So when they change the name, like they change a name they'll change a company name with a new release. So it doesn't have to do with, like, if they change their company name, they're not changing the name and then still servicing an older figure that was released under a different name using a new name, right? That a figure that's already been released with a given company name will always remain with that company name. So an example of this is like Bad Cube. When Bad Cube first started, they were called Cube X. And their first product was their Huffer. So it was the Cube X Huffer. So and it was the best third-party Huffer until they did an update. So Bad Cube. So then they changed their name to Bad Cube from Cube X. And all their other products were released under the name Bad Cube. So people would still refer to their first product as the Bad Cube Huffer, but technically it wasn't. Technically, that's the Cubex Huffer. And then when they finally re-released a new one, they did sort of updated version of the mold. That was the Bad Cube Huffer. So it's never retroactive. The name changes are not retroactive. They just apply to the newer figures.
Okay, cool. So Calvin, why don't Hasbro just give them licenses to Transformers?
A lot of people wonder about that, and the biggest speculation of the company that they might do that with was Fans Toys. Like when Fans Toys went quiet a few months ago, earlier this year, and then they said, okay, we have a big announcement. Like a lot of people were thinking maybe they were going to have a license deal with Takara or with Hasbro. I mean, it would make so much sense. From what we know, like obviously, we don't know what we don't know, but from publicly available information, it's like Hasbro is not making these figures. Takara is not making these characters. So what do they have? And Fans Toys is doing it. They're making money, but they have a risk. So it just seems like a win-win if Takara would make a deal with them. And it's not like there isn't room in the profit margin to do that, right? Because
this is true.
These things the price is astronomical, right? And so if they could cut out the secrecy, then that would save them some costs, and that can be a licensing thing. So yeah, I don't know. And it's not like Hasbro and Takara don't license stuff. So Calvin, it's an excellent question, and it would be, we need to ask somebody at Takara or somebody at Hasbro, but I don't think we would get a straight answer. Like even if you were able to call in on one of these live streams and ask somebody, I think that it has to do with legal stuff, so they wouldn't give you a straight answer. But it makes no sense.
Well, I think what would actually be cool is arranging someone from Hasbro to come into the live stream. I mean, usually in their live streams, like they're kind of within a script. They have a certain thing that they're going to promote. Like I mean, I've only watched 2 of them so far, but they don't interact with who's watching in terms of actually.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it would be because when you look at their live streams, like there's a comment like every second, so it's just a comment. Like they, in a sense, you really couldn't pick one to answer.
Well, I mean, they could have somebody there sorting through questions and like pick the questions that keep coming up. Like they could do it if they wanted to, but they don't want to. They have their message, right? They're not. This is
Yeah.
It's a major corporation, and the thing is, it probably wouldn't be impossible for us to get somebody from Hasbro on our podcast, but I don't think it would be. I'm not sure that it would be that fruitful because we wouldn't be able to ask that kind of question. Like that. They just wouldn't be authorized to answer something like that. So they would either, skirt around the issue, or they would just say, "Oh, I'm not allowed to answer that." So. It would be. We could have them on like the one guy we were talking about. We could talk about colors and how you match the colors and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But those kinds of questions, that could be cool, right? And if we had that guy, right, not like the other guy who obviously doesn't have anything interesting to say, but somebody who's actually involved in the creative process of designing or coloring or something,
right?
That's somebody we could have on. And we could have a good conversation with them. But the business stuff, they're not gonna. Anybody who knows would not tell us, and anybody who would tell us does not know.
Those who know, those who say don't know, which is unfortunate. Because I mean, that would be a huge bonus for a corporate to just have like a question and answer period of like not promoting anything just ask us questions. Reminds me of some of the music seminars, like the Canadian Music Week and the North by Northeast years ago, where usually whoever's speaking, it's like they'll go up, stand, do their speech for whatever, half an hour, and then just leave like 2 minutes for questions. Whereas one individual, I don't remember who he was, in his 30 minutes, the first 2 minutes is like, you know what my name is, you know what I've done. I'm just for the next 30 minutes. And I'm like, that's conduct something, or is this like you get that connection? Like, you would ask him, he answered it like in that 30 minutes instead of trying to take on a room full of people in the last 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
So Calvin has another question. Look at the versus the Hasbro Transformers. They're missing pieces to the sports, to fit the spots, etc. Like it's for them. Pay attention to Rhinox and T-Rex Megatron.
I saw that. I didn't quite understand it.
I'm guessing it would almost go to what we were saying last week. In terms of where it's like some releases will, and there's these extra kits to like for like, legs and knees, or just like to help modify like whatever figure to help them stand up better.
Yeah, like I think what he's saying is that the KOs don't require add-on kits, whereas the Hasbros do, right? So in other words, the KOs are better. That's what I think he's saying. I haven't looked at and nor will I be, looking at the Rhinox and T-Rex. But Calvin, I'm an MP guy. Oh, look, it's Orlati is about to be in the building.
Oh.
Not just,
good evening.
Calvin, I'm an MP guy, but actually just a G1 guy. I'm a G1 guy, so I do actually have all the recent mainline stuff. What up, Mike?
Yo! What's going on?
In the building.
You know what we gotta do?
What?
We gotta get like I've noticed every time when we do a show, there's at least one of us eating pizza.
Yeah. We should get a sponsorship.
Yeah, like right now I'm eating pizza, right? So it's like I think we should do like a show called like Transformer and Pizza.
Pizza Prime.
It sounds about right. Right.
And then
I don't think you need to tweak that too much. I think that's pretty much on. I think that's pretty much bang on.
Yeah, and then
I think it's on message.
Thank you. And I think we should reach out to all the pizza people out there that if you want a shout out, just send us your pizzas to each one of us.
Yep.
And we will be glad to eat it and enjoy it and rave about it.
Three different parts of our city, a different state, and we'll promote your pizza.
Forget about it. Yeah, seriously, let's do it.
Forget about it.
Or
why not? I think
other types of foods that like to sponsor for the show.
Yeah, we should be like Transformer foodies.
Yep.
All right, let's get back. Okay, so I'm sorry I'm late because in my neck of the woods, I don't know if it's in your wood as well too, Mikey, but or Spencer, it is raining hard.
Oh, it came here about an hour ago, and for like a minute stopped.
Okay, so it's raining again hard over here, and stupid me, I didn't realize I left my windows open. So I have I have a nice detailed, clean inside vehicle. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm a little bit late.
Everyone's going through it.
Yeah. So I apologize to everybody, and now I'm going to enjoy my pizza, and we're going to talk about Transformers. So there we go.
Kevin has joined us this evening.
Awesome. Oh, is he going to join us live?
Just in the comment section.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, that's
so
crazy.
What are we talking about?
I can hear the rain in the background. Well, I mean, yeah, just kind of been talking, answering Calvin's questions. And Calvin had found PM 12 movie Optimus Prime $125.
Not bad. Do we lose D?
He's appeared.
Oh, okay.
Did you chance to watch the Hasbro live stream?
You know what? I saw a little bit of it. And the only reason why I did is because I don't know if it's a spoiler, but it's a Star Saber. And we talked about that last time. Are we commenting about that, or what do we do?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Anthony. He's gonna show up shortly.
Oh, nice. So I'll just I got a little bit bored of those guys talking. So what I ended up doing, I watched the next day one of my favorite YouTubers for Transformers, next to us, because we're the best, right? So this guy would be second, and so I just listening to what he had to say, and I guess we'll wait for Anthony when he gets in here. We'll talk a little bit more about it. D, you're on mute. Oh, Kevin saying I'm back in this. I don't have Victor Saber, sorry. I'm gonna wait until Anthony comes before I make my comments. There's some positive and there's some negative, so don't get me wrong. It's one of those what's it called, soup of the day kind of taste to it.
And the thing is, I understand, but now also surprised on the direction of seeing what sort of I'm streaming it a lot. But down for Anthony, which I think he is here.
Hello.
All right.
Y'all see me? Y'all hear me?
Oh, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yes.
All right. So the character of the hour here.
Yes.
Oh.
Character is plural.
Very nice.
Yeah. Was interesting of them. The rumor was that this guy was going to be a like a backer higher tier thing, but no, they did him from launch. So yeah, what do you guys think? What's in the air about this?
It's a pretty cool son of Predacon figure.
Son of Predacon.
He actually did have like a Predacon look.
You chop it up, Mikey.
I can see that a little bit. It is kind of Predaking-esque. And I've sort of thought that maybe the main reason that it's a HasLab thing is just because, you could maybe sell a Star Saber at retail because he looks to be more or less like Commander size, so Jetfire and Skylinks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could sell Victory Leo at regular retail, so that's probably why this is crowdfunded, basically.
I actually like the Victory Leo figure.
Yeah.
Right, but you kind of took exactly what I was going to say. It's like Predacon and Jetfire got together when they adopted a son.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's real funny. Yeah, I think it's real funny that his like giant gun that's necessary to form the spaceship mode is going to be like a higher tier thing.
Yeah, that was
Like the
well. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the figure actually looks pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, right? Like when its form was with Leo there, right? I actually do like it. The spaceship for me, it's too, I don't know, it's too much, man. It almost kind of reminds me like a Voltron S kind of look to it, right? Not the Five Lions, obviously, the other Voltron, and and so it's like I don't know, it's. I don't know if they're paying homage to it. I don't know if they're trying to, they got bored and didn't know what to think of, and they just copy that, or I don't know, right?
But it's I know a little bit about that. The spaceship mode was made up for the TV show because they messed around with the figure, decided it looked kind of like a spaceship, and called it that on the show. So it is sort of like kind of weird looking on purpose. And now they're just homaging that weird little made up spaceship mode many years later in a big expensive HasLab type thing.
Right. What's going on with D?
I don't know. The interesting thing that I would say in terms of, I know from your point of view, and then also from the comments that I seen during the live stream, it's almost everyone is more focused on the American side of Transformers. Almost in a sense, there was like a hate towards Star Saber and the Victory Leo. I think a lot of people forgot that Transformers came from Japan.
Yeah.
The whole concept of like the entire concept, all of it came from Japan. Um, and it's only like mid early '80s where it was kind of like put into the Americans. But when you watch like the Star Saber, Trons, the Grandizer, Force Fives, and everything, like the whole backdrop, scenes and everything, like the storylines are all based. So only once Transformers end up with Hasbro, then we start ending up with U.S. storylines. Whereas like they crash in the U.S. and like everything's American cities, which is funny. I don't think of the entire series did they ever reference a Canadian city even once. Other than visiting a few other international. Even those episodes at times are like, well, that's you're kind of stereotyping everyone in that country, but I mean, that's how shows were back in the day.
Damn Americans. Hey, we love Americans. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I saw some of that, Star Saber series, whatever you want to call it, I totally forgot the name of it.
Victory.
Yeah, thank you. And it was like it's exactly what you're just saying, Mike. I don't want to repeat what you're saying, but it's exactly what you're saying. Like when I looked at it for the first time, I was like, is this Voltron? Is this Gundam? Is this Power Rangers animated? Right? Like it was very. I don't want to say it's very confusing. It's just when you watch the original G1 storyline, like how we're so used to it, right?
Right.
And then we watch that afterwards. It's like, hey, what's going on here, right? Because you got to remember, back then when we were kids, we didn't understand that whole thing about the Transformer universe and every universe is canon, right? And so we're like, well, what's going on here? Like, I'm confused, right?
Okay, but what about 2 weeks ago when you were like being like, yo,
I was gonna get there
because it's not American. Yo,
no, I was gonna get there. I was gonna get there. I was gonna get there, and then I know, but I was gonna get there.
Should I turn it up or just speak louder?
Turn it up. We can hear you. You're just quiet.
Okay. How about that?
Well,
a little more.
It's funny, because I mean, I would add in it goes.
Yeah, but you're cracking up, eh, Mikey?
Yeah, Mike, you're cracking up a lot.
Going on with that?
Yeah. So when you're fixing that, my just to finish off my sentence, it which I was about to say, and indeed does make a good point, right? Saying that it was more of a regional thing. Had that probably came out, I'm not saying like at the same time, but show that continue storyline or showing some kind of branch. Here, the new Transformer story that we're going to be heading to, or I don't know, something crazy like that, right?
Sure.
A lot of us would accept that for sure, obviously, right? But that never really happened because, again, like I said before in our last show, it was more like a regional thing, and for us, we're getting to know these characters now.
You know where I can an analogy I can give that I think is what you're trying to get at in terms of that feeling when you're a kid is
Right.
I don't know if all of you guys watched Robotech, but if you remember, like whenever they switch the series, so when they go from Macross to Masters, or when they go from Masters to what's the third one called? Next Generation, I think. Robotech: The Next Generation. So, like whenever they do those jumps, there isn't. It's very abrupt. It's like all of a sudden there's these new characters, right? They didn't even do like an intro like, okay, it's been 50 years since Macross and now da 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 da. You learn that like as the series progresses. So as a kid, I found that jarring. I'm like, who are these people? Is this even Robotech? What is going on here? Right? And then you have to watch it for a while and then you start to get into it. So
Sounds like
it was a similar kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot like the way you guys describe Beast Wars.
Well, it's funny because I know a few weeks ago when we were speaking in terms of there are different ages and being older than you guys. I'm thinking that in terms of
Backing up, buddy.
you know,
It's like it's very staticky.
Spin, do you have any windows open or any other devices maybe that you could close so that you could?
no, I'm not sure. So, let me try this.
Or like unplug and replug it.
No, I mean he's got his unplugging is not a good idea because he's got his internet connection. So it's just a question of reducing the bandwidth, the strain on the bandwidth. So if there's any other computers that are on or anything using the internet in the background, that's what you should try to shut down. Or if you have other computers in the house pulling on your bandwidth, if you could shut those down.
Well, it's funny. I mean, the video's working, but now this week, it's the audio. It's like there's always something.
Okay,
No,
now you
good
sound
now.
great.
It's working.
Yeah, you sound good now.
It's just your bandwidth. It's
Okay.
just a question of bandwidth.
So you were saying?
Okay, yeah. Hey,
Sound
hopefully
is fine,
bandwidth
Random.
shouldn't be an issue, but yeah, it's it goes to what we were saying like weeks ago. In terms of ages, with me being older than you guys, I have more of appreciation of the Star Saber concept, and I think that's what ends up happening. Either anyone that's a bit older, or anyone that's really into the series. Whereas like looking at a few of the clips that they showed of Star Saber and of Leo, it reminds me of the cartoons from like 81, 82, 83. So like, that kind of animation and artwork, I was used to that before any of us even knew of Transformers. So I know with you guys being a bit younger, it's like you're kind of more introduced and remember Transformers and not so much the stuff that I knew of before, before Transformers came out. Which is funny. We'll tie this into the what if that we'll speak on, in a few minutes afterwards.
So I guess what is everybody's opinion on this new character then?
Well,
No, I shouldn't say
I like-
new character, a new figure. Sorry, the
new figure. I was gonna say I like everything I'm seeing. I don't own the masterpiece, but I'm told there seems to have actual engineering improvements over it. Like you can hold the sword better. There's jointed specifically for that. And it's a good price for what you get because it's basically 2 commanders, and that's what they're charging. I don't know if I'm going to go in on it. I'm like, hey, if Unicron costed this much, I might have gone in on it. But, yeah. I mean, like, I watched the Victory show when it came out on DVD a few years ago. I read the manga. Star Saber is cool. I don't know if I want to go in for like 180 American dollars. You know.
You just reminded me. I have those DVDs, and I've never watched them. So like this whole, I'm not even really participating in this conversation. You're like, what does everybody think? I'm like, I just don't even care. But
we're reading words in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, wow.
But he just mentioned I watched Victory Leo, and then I'm like, perked up. I'm like, oh, if I watch that show, all of a sudden I'm gonna want the toy.
Yeah.
So are you not watching the show because you don't want to buy the toy?
Well, now I have a dilemma. You see? Like, I don't have any desire for the toy right now, but I want to know if I will want the toy. So I don't want the toy, but I don't want to miss out on the toy if I'm going to want the toy.
Yeah.
But I won't want the toy unless I watch the DVD. So it's my choice whether I want to want the toy. But I don't want to want the toy. I just want to make sure that I don't want to want the toy after I can't have the motherfucking toy.
So you got like 40 days. You got like 40 days to binge Victory the show.
I was going to say the Matrix in a loop, guys. For D.
Kevin says, "Take my money."
But let me say one other thing. You make a good point, Anthony, about the price, because I was just watching Tidarium Hangar. Shout out to Mike, he was complaining about the price because he was saying, "Look, this is basically like Chug. It's not an MP thing, you know. Despite, yeah, right. So he." And it's $180 for a commander class. So he was saying that's double the price. But Anthony, you just pointed out it's actually 2 commander class figures. Mm-hmm. So then the price is like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
And like I said before, I almost feel like Victory Leo is mainly the reason why it's being done this way, because maybe you could sell a Commander Star Saber retail.
Yeah, no, you made a good
Victory
point. That's a good
Leo's
point,
role is basically an accessory power up. Means I don't know that you could. Yeah.
No, that was a really good.
Yeah.
That was a really good take.
Do you think you could take Victory Leo and attach him to Predacon, like to the Predaking?
That would be cool.
I mean, I don't think that's
match,
been
right?
engineered. That doesn't mean it's not possible. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
What would the storyline to that be?
Well, that's in the fiction. On the fiction, when we get to whatever
Patreon.
It is on Patreon. Yeah,
Yes.
right. And we can just have like a 3D printed adapter that we'll get from our Patreon, right? That'll allow it to connect.
Hold on, wait. We have to make this official announcement. It is, what is it? Sunday, August the 29th. That was copyrighted by Children of the Primus. Okay.
Where did you come up with that concept? That you put Victory Leo on Predaking? That's pretty cool.
Like I said, when I was watching the so I've always liked the figure.
Okay.
Right. I never really read any of the stories just maybe like a few read-ups. But I've always liked the figure. But then when I saw the what's called the Polster, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
So which version is that? What is it? What Victory Leo is that?
Robot Masters. I reviewed both of these a while back on the blog, so they're there for looking. These are the only other mainline versions they did of them. They're like minifigures, but they combine and everything. So it's sort of a preview of how they work.
So when I actually saw the drawings and I saw the figure and everything, I go, you know what? I think he'd be a better fit to the Predacon group, right?
Okay.
It's almost like Bruticus. If you look at Bruticus with Onslaught, like he's the bigger figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you figure like what's called Victory Leo, Lion there, Leo. I think he'd be like the bigger figure that, and then you can form all the rest of the Predacons to him.
Are you guys aware?
Wait, so you're not thinking of just having Victory Leo, because Victory Leo just goes on the feet of Star Saber, right? Isn't that what he does?
And the backpack.
In the back.
Yeah, because makes the thing better. Make it more
Well, he
back.
has the big guns now because of that,
Okay.
right?
Oh, okay. So, but when you said like you wanted to see him on Predaking, were you just talking about like the feet and the back?
No, I'm talking about he's like the main body, and then everybody joins to him. So he kicks out. Not great. Now I forgot his name, but the main lion, right? In Predacon, he gets
Razor
kicked out.
Claw.
Thank you. I was thinking Razor Jaw
that's
for some
cool.
other reason.
That's a neat idea for like a
Like a
fan
storyline
fiction.
there.
Yeah. In terms of when I said oh we could just print a 3D printed adapter, I was just thinking of in terms of like the way he becomes a feet that just go on the bottom of Star Saber.
No.
Oh, we could stick that on the bottom of Predaking.
No. He literally becomes the Predaking, like the king of the Predakings.
Yeah. So I don't know if the figure has the morphology to do that.
Morphology.
We can look at 3D
the morphological
printing.
properties.
Just
Yeah, well,
quietly-
yeah. If you're gonna do it the way like Zeta does it, right? Then it doesn't matter. You know, the Zeta combiners. If you guys don't know, the way they work is like the chest and basically the entire torso is just like an action figure, and then you just stick the pieces on it, and then the center combiner bot like almost plays no purpose at all. You just transform it into a box and stick it in the back, almost like basically like Ultra Magnus in G1.
Oh yeah, I back in the day I messed around with their Bruticus, and you literally just turn Onslaught into a cube and just put the cube in the middle.
Yeah, like you don't even need to have Onslaught, you know, other than somewhere to stick the head.
Yeah.
I mean, which is funny. It ties back into like those earlier, kind of iteration of transforming robots or combiners. Before they actually came up with the term combiners, where he's like, when you look at the combiners in the Transformer sense, it's like there's, almost the Voltron type of like there's the middle, the arms and the legs, but then the earlier versions, it's like one is the feet or with one like the Star Dragon and Star Poseidon, basically the three jets can merge into one robot, but depending where the jet falls, it's three different robots. So I believe it was a red, a blue, and an orange jet. So if the red jet's on top, then that's like Star Dragon, and the other two jets are on the bottom. If the orange jet's on top, then it's Star Poseidon, and if the blue jet's on top, it's Star Ariel. So
Cool.
Three different robots from the same three jets.
That's neat. There's so many different things that could be done with combiners that Transformers didn't really explore it as well as could have been done. And even the Scramble City gimmick, right, was not really used in G1 the way it was in the original cartoons, the way it was like in some of the IDW stuff, right?
Which is funny because then when you think of it, it's almost in a sense of once the storylines fell into hands of one of Marvel Studios and Hasbro, they didn't expand on it. Whereas like on the Japanese side, there's a ton of expansions that they've done for characters and storylines.
Maybe the Japanese are just better. How about that?
I mean, they
created it, didn't they?
They created it.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, okay. Here's the Victory Saber combination, and it really is just he origamis into a pair of boots. It's kind of cool because he does compress, and then
Origami.
yeah, he backpack on the back, extra guns on the shoulders, and that's basically it. It's just really tall Star Saber. So, I mean,
he's splitting into three pieces, right?
Yeah.
To do that,
the backpack, the two boots.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it is kind of because like the original would have been like non-posable because it's G1, and this Robot Master's gun one isn't posable either because he has to break up into pieces. So I guess the real marvel of the HasLab one is making a Victory Leo that's actually posable and stable while still breaking up into three pieces. But yeah, this is really basic stuff. Just platform shoes in the backpack.
And what scale is that? Is that a Generations figure?
No,
Is
Robot
that a
Masters
G1?
were
Is that
kind of weird.
Generations?
They're
Yeah.
they're predate Generations. They were just these like smaller line of figures they did. Let me try and grab a deluxe here for scale. So when he's fully assembled, this is a Titan's Return Deluxe. He's about the same size as one, and when it's just Star Saber, he's even smaller. So these guys are like these guys. This is like a line of minifigures they did, and Star Saber and Victory Leo were probably the most popular bunch of them of that line because these were the only other updates they ever got.
Cool.
But yeah, he's a good demonstration of how it works because it's just going to be that, but huge.
Cool.
Yeah.
So are you interested in the figure?
Not at the moment. I think, like I said, the price is good, but it's not a character I'm super interested in. Maybe in the 45 days the campaign lasts, they can convince me somehow. I don't know. I'm open to being convinced.
You gotta rewatch the series to see.
Yeah.
They got 45 days to take Anthony's money, I guess. They already got
40
Calvin's.
45 days to impress me.
Did Calvin say he's in?
Yeah, he said take my money.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's in. One thing I'm curious about, and maybe somebody down in the comments or eventually will be able to answer this, is what would it actually cost a Canadian? Because I already did the math. It's 225 Canadian dollars before shipping and taxes. So I'm like, what's it actually going to cost? Maybe a Canadian that got Unicron can estimate how much gets added onto that. Because I'm curious about what it would actually run me. Like at the end of everything.
I don't get it. If you can do the conversion, what are you trying to? Where's the very unknown variable?
Sales tax, shipping and handling. What are the other fees that are going to get tacked on? What would it actually run me? That's what I want to know.
Get a credit. Just make sure you got a $10,000 credit card limit, and you're good.
Yeah.
Simple.
Well, and then there's the import fee. That one will randomly hit you at some point.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as the guy brings the package to your house, okay, the Canadian government needs their money, but didn't I just get tax already from them? Nope, you got to pay this other fee.
Yeah, it's
look at D smiling.
You never find out until it gets to your door. Yeah.
Old problems. I don't have those problems no more.
So I'm just like, maybe somebody who's informed can tell me that. Like, what is the actual final price so that you can really, really think it over once you have the final figure there?
500.
I mean, I don't think it'll be that bad, but I'm like, it's definitely not 225. Are we clearing 250? Are we passing the 300 mark? What is it really?
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting
the only thing you could really do, like you could contact like Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
Right, because I used to buy some of my stuff there, and just ask them straight out.
Yeah.
Because even on their website as well too, sometimes they'll put it on little details if they're shipping international. Unfortunately, in Canada, international, even though we're next door neighbors, they will tell you already how much the set price is in there.
Yeah. But we're talking about Hasboro Pulse, right? So it's not guaranteed that it's going to be the same.
No, but it could give you a bit of an idea, right? Yeah. Roughly. So take,
exactly.
$20, $30 bucks.
If you want a rough
right?
thing, yeah, that should be easy.
Yeah. Plus, I wonder though, they carried Unicrons during the campaign for people who didn't back it in time or had second thoughts, right? Because they just went in on a bunch of them. I wonder if they'll do that again.
But there was an extra $100 tacked on.
Yeah, that's true.
So we got TF Collect saying I'm getting one for sure. My 7-year-old son is a fan. Cool.
7-year-old son's a fan of Transformers Victory. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny.
Looks cool.
I was gonna say to what Dee said earlier about do you end up watching the DVD to then become a fan to then wanting to buy it? And I remember back in I think it was 87, 88. There was one student in our school who was a year older than me, and he was really into all of the Yes, someone older than me, and he was
Jeff?
really I know,
Jeff.
Right. Must have been.
It must have been Jeff.
but he was really into mecha, and like he collected, like he had a bigger Transformer collection than
No, it wasn't
I
Jeff.
had.
Jeff couldn't pronounce Mecha.
No,
Oh, okay.
and he was into the Robotechs and everything. But what was cool is he would go down to Chinatown and get the Japanese versions of Transformers on VHS, like as soon as they came in. So when everyone else is kind of watching all these variations in like later '90s or in 2000s, I'm like, I already watched this in in '87. The only difference is like it wasn't, there was no translations, no dubs or anything, but it was still very cool to watch.
Indeed. You remember in Chinatown? Did you ever go to Chinatown when they had those stores where they had like all those Japanese imports with the like? They're not
There's a
there anymore, are
few.
they?
No, there's a few that actually there was
few
one
there.
just about 10 minutes from where I was living before. They fully focus on that. So you go in their
But they all
store,
shut down.
No,
See all the different Voltrons and everything.
Yeah,
I went
like
there to buy my Chinese slippers.
Yeah, like the RC cars, Mutant Turtles, Transformers, Robotechs,
Chinese
like
slippers right there.
it's like guys like us, like they collected their money together, open a store, and like they have those stuff in there. So they probably have the same conversation that we're having right now in terms of bringing in the sabers and everything.
So I was there about 2 years ago in Chinatown before the pandemic, because I work downtown, right? And I just went for a walk. And there's a few Transformer / toy stores that are in there, like collectibles, right? Collectors, and but they gotten fancy in a sense, right? So they really specialize in that stuff, right? Whereas before, it's like, you just saw a whole bunch of stuff on the shelf there, and you're like, "Ooh, look at that!" Right? Never seen that before. So there's a bit of a modernization, I guess, of that area. Thank you. Of some of the toy collectors in Chinatown.
Well, I mean, it's funny because it goes even with all the different Transformer groups. And it's like that one debate that I've said in many of the other groups where people will say, well, the Michael Bay movies saved the franchise, and I'm like, well, a lot of people recently have been posting their pictures of like their shelf collection from like '87, and it's like you'll see them with like on top of the TV set 10, 20, 30, 50 Transformers, and I'm like, we were doing it in 86, 87, 96, 97, 2006, 2007. We were doing it well before these movies came out. But the difference now is everyone's modernizing their shelves, just like how the store is. So like now everyone's buying the better shelves, the glass cases, adding LED lights, turning into a display. So it's not just like a little bookshelf in a corner displaying their Transformers. Like, I actually
who's everyone? Do you mean stores? What are you talking about?
No, people at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like
thanks to IKEA. Let's be honest, right?
Exactly. Like a lot of people, they're taking down the wooden shelves and like replacing them with glass, with nice glass cases for their collections, or moving into houses and building a room for their collection.
But you got to remember
building a room for your collection definitely is new. But is it all that new that people are like trying to like make their collections look nice? Well, no, like I've always been putting my Transformers in glass.
No, but that's okay. So you're like an OG.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We've been doing it for years.
Okay. Right. So, but the funny part is, it's now like what Mike's saying is like now everything's becoming nostalgia, and because let's face it, because of social media, right? Everybody is going to up their game. and they're gonna take their picture. It's like, you know how everybody now is taking their picture with their mask on, right? So hey, look at me, I'm wearing a mask, right? So now it's like, you know, everybody's like, hey, look at my collection. Oh, you think that's a cool collection? I got a better one now, right? And so everybody's up in their game, right? And you have to put that, you know, hand in hand with social media,
which is good or
And
bad.
I mean, you know, and that goes into some conversations where some collectors, are you collecting because, you know, you're reliving that nostalgia when you were a kid who bought these figures, or are you just collecting for the sake of like, let me get these figures, you know, and I want my shelf to look better than that guy's shelf, but I don't really care about the figures.
It's all about the likes.
Sir, no, it's not. There's no motherfucking buddy who didn't have a Transformers collection and then went out and spent $10,000 just to like be like, yo, I'm gonna get some likes. That did not happen.
What are you talking about? Sure. I'm sure that there has been someone, but what's it called? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
There has to
I'm
be.
not talking about you.
I mean,
no, but I'm sure there are.
Nobody gets into this. Nobody gets into this.
Gee,
in order to get your
likes.
If you're already into it,
wait,
like, no, look,
I
agree.
On Instagram, you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, and you see or Pinterest, whatever, all these social media, and you literally see all these displays that people have come up with. I literally seen a guy that built a Metroplex, what's it called, shelf to display all of the Transformers.
The wooden Metro, that image has been floating around for a while. I mean, it's probably like a 6-foot Metroplex.
Yeah, and it's like detailed, and it's animated, and it has the lights and this and that. Like, come on, man. Good for him if he's really into that, but do you really need to go to that extreme?
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Hold on a
second. Everybody stop. Everybody stop.
Hold on. Wait. Okay, go ahead. Clear my throat.
Everybody who is serious about collecting Transformers has seen that the particular Metroplex shelving unit that you're talking about. There's more than one. There's another guy who's 3D printing one. It's a more complicated giant Metroplex. I don't know if he ever finished it. I only ever saw like hands and head, and he was working on it. But the one that's made out of wood, and it's very boxy, it's basically, you know, about the same level of detail as G1 Metroplex.
Yeah, it is.
But that, first of all, if you didn't already think about doing that yourself before you saw it done, and then you were like, yo, how'd this guy beat me to it? Then I don't know. Then I can't really call you a serious G1 collector. Number one.
Oh, here we
Number
go.
two.
Here we go.
Number two. If you do not acknowledge that this guy has the best shelf ever in the history of Transformers collecting, then you're excommunicated from the realm of G1 collectors.
I'm sorry,
because everybody knows that's the best that's ever been done until somebody does better. But that's the best that anyone has done.
I want to see Scorponaut.
Yeah, me too. When somebody does Scorponaut, when somebody does Fortress Maximus, you know, somebody does Trypticon. Actually, somebody did a Trypticon.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I didn't see that.
Well, somebody Google it. Just like say 6-foot Trypticon, 6-foot custom Trypticon. You can find it, but it's not a shelf though. I don't think it's a shelf.
Well, no, but I was going to say. Mm-hmm.
No, I was just to finish my thought in a sense. You know, the whole point where I'm getting at is that going back to what Dee said.
20 totes is still going. We could bust out the totes, my guy. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Calvin's talking about the totes. I got enough Transformers and totes. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, Mike.
No, I paused there for a second because I read it too. It goes back to what you said originally, D. Is that a good thing?
We could do a tote and tell.
Right. Is that a good thing, or is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing that you have people that are trying to up each other? Is that a good thing, or is it somebody that takes really good big pride in their collection and they really want to put in a nice display and show it off? Or is it just somebody that, you know, just wants to get the likes? Say, hey, look at me because I'm part of the fad.
Well, the problem is it's a bit of everything, because when you have friendly competition, it helps people. But you do have some that they're just doing it for the sake of likes, and you really find it in the different forms. The difference of, you know, say all four of us.
Are you guys talking about twerking? Okay, because if you're talking about twerking,
I do not speak on the words twerking. I wish twerking just stopped.
All right,
existing.
no, but like there's lots of things where people are doing it just for likes. Like we know that. But like, show me some evidence. Pull up a picture. Show me some evidence of any.
You have to go on the forums. You have to go on the forums. Trust me.
I've been on the forums, and all. Listen. Here's what I'm saying. Like when I see somebody with a really dope collection, obviously I'm inspired. I'm like, oh, that's an idea. Like I wanted to do that, or that inspires me. Of like, wait till you see what I'm gonna do. Right? That's healthy competition. That's not for the likes, right? For the likes is like for the like exactly. So for the likes, what you're talking about, the disparaging thing is that, you know, I'm trying to outdo you. And the value is in doing better than you, not in doing something really good that's inspiring. So my question is, show me a post of somebody of any collection, any Transformers collection. I don't mean show me a post where somebody's putting someone else down. I mean a post related to a Transformers collection where there's any indication that it's not a positive participation in the community that is inspiring other people to show their collection in their best
I
light.
can't do that right now because it's going to take time for me to go find that particular post to show you.
Or to fabricate it with Photoshop, sure.
That too. Well, no, hold on. My case is Microsoft Paint. But what's it called?
That's right. Fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
It's called spade to spade.
Exactly. So, but going back to what you're saying, D, it's hard to find. Okay, for me to go find somebody right now, it's going to take me some time, and then, but eventually, I will find somebody, and there you go, right? But like I'm just,
yeah, I mean, they do exist,
or you won't.
But it's not one we would find right at this moment. But you know, I have seen them, but really, it's more of like, you know, 1% compared to the rest of us.
Like the closest thing that comes to mind is the people, video or written reviewers who try and get things out early so they can make videos or write-ups of them first. That's the closest I can think of.
Well, and this is so now nothing wrong with that, but there is the controversy. I don't know, did we talk about it here or not? But Anthony, I'm this is what you're talking about, I think. Is there's this controversy about people paying extra money, so like buying these
bots,
like factory leaks, or you know, that sort of thing. So paying this extra money to get these figures early, and then sort of like out competing the other reviewers. We didn't talk about that, did we?
No,
I don't recall. It's like there's like one YouTuber that always gets everything in advance, and I want to figure out
Prime versus Prime.
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
He had the Cyclonus like months before anybody like could have had it, should have had it. Same with Scorponok. I was like, what? Why do you have Scorponok? But
Calvin said the MTV Transformers MTV Cribs edition. Which I'll add to that once you're done.
I actually like that.
Bobby does Cribs versions every couple of years. He
really
does like Bobby Skullface Cribs.
You know who does it too once in a while? Alex from Rage Nation.
Oh, like going to actual like other people's homes of their collections.
Yeah, he did that in his early YouTubes. I don't know.
Yeah, he went to other people's houses. Bobby just did it in his own house.
Oh, okay, like he literally went to another person. Yeah. So I don't know if he's gonna revisit that anytime soon, but that was pretty cool. Like going to somebody's house and say, "Hey, let's check out my collection."
Yeah, no, that was actually really cool. Have you guys So have you guys watched any of the? Bobby also has a series called, like a podcast series called For Dummies, and they've been doing a series of collection critiques. So people like send in their collections and then they do a critique. Have you guys watched this?
No,
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should watch it. I think it'd be a fun thing for us to do as well.
yeah, that's on our homework list.
I mean, I have. It's pretty up to date, but I did a Twitter thread at one point near the start of the year where I just photogged everything in my collection, like just shelf by shelf. It's probably still pretty up to date.
Where did you post it?
On my Twitter account, at or courage.
Calvin said that he has seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
man, I've done that a number of times. I sent mine. Actually, I took a bunch of pictures of my collection. I sent them to Mike at Tidarium Hangar because every 1,000 subscribers he does like his subscriber special, and his subscriber special is just featuring the collections of the subscribers. So my collection has been featured on a few of his specials.
So I
and-
posted my collection on my Excel spreadsheet.
Did you? Did you? I want to see that.
That's pretty
Oh,
updated.
Okay, so
I want to see that.
TF Collect has something interesting. I heard it from a Canadian YouTube reviewer that HasLab Unicron costs just under $1,000 Canadian with shipping.
That's old news.
Yeah, but I'm like, I wonder if I could reverse engineer that and get an estimate on what Star Saber would cost. Because I'm like,
No,
you know.
because of the size.
Yeah.
But as Orlati said, like Big Bad Toy Store will give you a number. Matter of fact, just go on Big Bad Toy Store. You don't even need to ask anybody. Go on Big Bad Toy Store, put in a couple figures that you think are going to be about that size, and then just go all the way through to the final stage of the order. You'll see how much the shipping's going to be.
order 2 Siege Jetfires because it's 2 commanders.
Yeah,
There you go.
simple.
So we got Bill in the house.
All right, so let's jump into some recent news now that we have Anthony with us. So this week's Retrobot review was the Siege Seekers versus the Earthrise Seekers. And
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah.
can you
Oh, cool,
say about
cool.
that?
I like that.
I didn't think my own writing was going to come up, but that'd be great.
I like that. Okay, so I haven't read it. Have either of you guys read that yet?
I was gonna read it tomorrow.
Well, this is brand new anyway.
Okay,
so.
so
No,
so,
no, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was gonna read it tomorrow because I work tomorrow evening, and so
Okay,
at
that
least
wasn't
I
my
had,
question. That wasn't my question.
No,
My question was,
I'm gonna
did you
read it tomorrow. No, I'm gonna read it tomorrow. I'm giving you an elaborate answer.
Clearly.
Well, I would say Anthony, just give us
Okay, listen, so-
some
no, hold
quick
on.
Don't tell
points.
me it's gonna spoil
Hold
them.
on! I'm talking!
Wait,
Ain't nobody
Everyone-
talking when I'm talking, fellas, so shut the fuck up!
listen.
Hey,
No spoilers.
Alright, now
Or
check
I'm
it
gonna
out.
leave.
Now check it out. Spin and Orlati, do each of you handled each of these 2 figures?
I have not.
Neither one?
I've looked at it at Toys R Us in the box.
Okay. Okay. So you can't really have a I was gonna ask you, like, what is your opinion? Okay, so let me say what I think before we find out what the write up said, or get our summary. And Anthony, like, I remember some of what you've already said about this because we've talked about these figures before.
Yeah.
So I think that you've said, let's see how much I remember, or if I remember, or if I'm just talking shit. I think that you like this. So we got Siege versus Earthrise, right? I think you like the Earthrise one a lot, whereas for me, I prefer the Siege for the reason that you agree on, because we've never really had a Tetrajet, so it's cool to have the Tetrajet. But I think you just really liked these classic Seekers, whereas for me, the tail fins, what are those called? It's not the ailerons, I don't know. The back stabilizer. Maybe it's a stabilizer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like
jet
how
bits.
those look on the ankles
The
and
side,
stuff.
yeah.
So overall, if I had to keep one set, I would keep the Tetra Jets basically,
Yeah.
and get rid of the others. What about you? Yeah, over to you.
guess-
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're talking to me. I was gonna say, yeah. The one thing I did say was that they are both very good. Neither of them are bad. I do think the Siege ones are doing something a bit more unique in that they're trying to be a Tetrajet. I did like the Earthrise ones better as a whole package, though I did acknowledge the Siege versions had a lot of better things in their favor as well. So I did like the Earthrise one, but it was close basically. Like Earthrise, I think, looks nicer in both modes. Siege one's a bit more posable and a bit more inventive, but it's also like a shell former. Whereas the Earthrise ones are a lot more satisfying to transform. One thing that I did say though is it's possible for somebody to own copies of both because like the original trio that got done in both, but like Siege did like the Rainmakers and Red Wing and the Zombie Seeker and Hotlink. Meanwhile, Earthrise did the Coneheads and G2 Ramjet and Sandstorm. So there's a good amount of non-overlap between them,
Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying people could have a good representation and number of each mold without overlapping figures.
Yeah, basically, like Starscream, Skywarp, Thundercracker. Yeah, you'd want to get one or the other, but like outside of those three, both sets of figures are doing different things. So it's like, my actual recommendation is like, yeah, if you got to get one, get the Earthrise. But I'm like, there's plenty of Siege things that don't overlap, so I'd almost recommend grabbing a few of both. Because like Earthrise didn't do Red Wing or the Rainmakers, but Siege didn't do the Coneheads or any G2 guys,
Exactly, Bill. Who's gonna get one or the other? Obviously, you're gonna get both. I don't have Skywarp for the which one is it? For the Siege, I don't have Skywarp.
Yeah, because it came in an Amazon set.
Yeah.
Calvin has said that he has both. Earthrise is awesome. And Bill says blasphemy. Get them all.
That's what I
multiples
said.
of both.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I sort of just gave you like the TLDR, but like I in the writing there, I broke down all the different little things about each, what I liked better, what I didn't like better. So
I'm gonna
with
go
photos.
Let's see. So let's go through some more news. Retrobot's Flame Toys Optimus Prime IDW version model kit.
Oh yeah. I did him and Megatron. I don't have him out, unfortunately. I got Megatron.
I don't see the
out
picture.
right now.
Can you throw the picture up? It's just maybe updating slow. There we go.
And this is all courtesy of childrenofprimus.com, news and reviews.
See, we told you we had a website.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. I like this format. I like this. We should just like maybe this is already what you're planning, but like all our topics and pictures, if we can figure this out ahead of time, we should just have them all posted online on the website, and then we're just going through and throwing that out. Oh, I'm getting some crazy ideas now. We could even have polls like set up on the website that we do live. Like, so we have our discussion about like, okay, are you going to get this figure or not, or blah, blah, blah. And like we all vote, and then we see in real time, us as well as the audience can vote on the site, and then we see the results.
Calvin has said Phantom Strike is overpriced. I wish they released this again. And,
that's the Skywarp set.
And Bill has also said, give me the time. I start on the collection room in another week. So I guess he was listening in. We were speaking on the collections from earlier, buying a house and dedicating a room just for the collection.
So Bill, you should send us like weekly shots.
Yeah.
We should do it like a weekly documentation of like how Bill's thing is going. What do you think, Bill? Once a week, and that way, like, you know, you're incentivized to not slack. Be like, okay, I sent these guys this picture this week. Gotta have something else done.
Oh, he's in.
All right,
Bill
all
is
right.
in for it.
All right.
Yeah, because
All
I was
right,
going to say.
Anthony. And,
Like
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the reason I took all those shots at the start of 2020 was the same sort of thing, where I just reconstructed this room and arranged it all differently, and I had just finished deciding where everything was going to go and laying it out, and I was pretty proud of how that turned out. So that's why I started taking pictures and stuff and post them on Twitter and whatever.
Nice. Well, let's see. Other news that you would like to jump on. TFW 2005 coverage of the Renegadicon 2021 Day 2 Transformers content.
Yeah, I don't actually know what that is. That's news to me.
Well, let's find out.
I like that picture.
I like that art though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is nice. So let's see. So they say day 2 and the final day of Renegade Con 2021 came to a close with more reveals. And since the second day focused on the actual gameplay of the content revealed on day 1, we've linked the Twitch stream with the news post. And there are the Twitch links. And let's see, Transformers deck, building game, live play, and we've also screen capped some cool artwork from the role-playing game as well. You can check it out after the jump. So this was supplied by TFW 2005.
Is there a role-playing game? Is that what they revealed?
That's where I think that image. That's where I think that art is from.
Ooh.
That is very cool art.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what other news that we can supply for the week. I mean, we've spoken on the HasLab Victory Saber.
Oh yeah, that was the big thing.
Kingdom Rodimus Prime review.
Oh, I can't wait for that to drop. It's not out in Canada yet, but I'm going to be all over that. I guarantee it'll get a big write-up.
Okay. At long last, and in the light of my many criticisms of the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, it is time to look at the case for Transformers Kingdom Rodimus Prime and see if he really does fill the bill or not for a Commander class offering. Plus, we compare him to the power of Primes, Optimus and Season 3 cast.
I don't know who this is, but if he's got problems with Studio Series Hot Rod, we already got beef. This is like one of my favorite figures to come out this year. You know? This is my favorite character, and they finally did it right, basically. Look at this fidelity. Look at this sculpt. Look at this articulation. What are the faults? What are the problems?
Tell me.
Yeah, tell me.
How dare you?
Yeah. Come on here and debate your point.
Yep. All right. So now let's jump into one of our recent posts on our Facebook page, and let me share it to our screen.
I'm gonna be listening, but temporarily away from the mic.
Okay. Actually, let me.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen to your what if though.
Okay.
All right.
Well, actually, just before that, so Bill says Kingdom Rodimus Prime is awesome. And Calvin says Power of the Prime's Hot Rod is bigger than the Kingdom series Hot Rod.
I'd believe that.
Mm-hmm. And Bill also says, I agree, Studio 86 Hot Rod is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Calvin,
All right.
Calvin, let me just reply to Calvin. Like I tried really valiantly to advocate on behalf of the Power of the Prime's Rodimus, but Anthony, I lost that debate to Anthony. He
Oh yeah, that did happen.
it just wasn't that good a figure. I did my best, so yeah, that's all.
That's all.
When I'm defeated, I admit defeat.
All right, so let's go with our second main topic for the evening, and going with the essence of Marvel's What If. I created a post of a Transformers What If, and so within the post, it's what if the initial deadly meeting with Megatron led to Ariel becoming Alita Prime, leader of all Autobots, and Orion Pax being severely damaged and required a Power Master suit, turning him into Optimus Magnus, second in command to Alita Prime.
That gives me an idea. Perhaps a new role for Delta Magnus, the the Diaclone themed repaint of Ultra Magnus. Let me just pull a picture up.
It's funny, while creating this, there's a couple ideas that came to mind, but then seeing as how it became like a really hot debate between a lot of the forums, it expanded on what the initial idea was, and it kind of shows the mindset of within the groups that certain, like some people, they're kind of locked into like Optimus Prime has to be the leader, has to be the truck, and that is what it is. And kind of overlooking that it's all what if. It could be whatever we want it to be. And think back in 1982, probably like from even 81, 82. What if Hasbro didn't buy into Takara? We wouldn't be speaking of Transformers for the next 40 years. Or what if whoever originally wrote the storyline decided to make Hound the leader? That's what we would know of Hound being the leader of the Autobots. Like the concept of Optimus Prime wouldn't have existed to us.
Yeah. And what if, the Diaclone figure that became Ultra Magnus, that was conceived as a power-up for the Diaclone figure that became Optimus Prime. So, your theory is not too far off. This could have been Optimus, right? In fact, in that what-if scenario that you described, this could easily have been Optimus Magnus.
And that's exactly the basis of the theory. And I think maybe anyone who hasn't had the G1 toy or seen it, they didn't get that part of the concept that the G1 toy, the midsection is just a variation of Optimus. So it fully plays in that part of what if Orion was like so badly damaged as they did with Steve in the what if.
That looks so good.
Whereas like Steve didn't become Captain America, he was so injured he needed that Iron Man suit, and so we're now in a world where Tony Stark hasn't been born yet, and now Steve is running the Iron Man suit, but it's not called Iron Man because it's a whole different reality.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you guys ever had that that Ultra Magnus, the Diaclone Ultra Magnus?
Nah,
no.
He was available in Transformers. This is a quote-unquote movie preview Ultra Magnus because there was an early trailer where he was in Diaclone colors because they hadn't finalized his colors yet. So that's what this release is. Yeah, but no, I never managed to own one.
They had him on sale, so I don't buy Diaclone stuff, except on a very very rare occasion. But they also made the official masterpiece. They released Ultra Magnus in this color, and on one of the Black Fridays, they were selling them for like $100 for the official.
Nice.
or $90 or whatever, and I didn't buy it, but I was like almost. And I'm like, no, why am I buying things that I don't, like big characters that I don't need? But I don't know, kick myself for not having bought it because it looks. Look at that. Look at the cab. It just looks so awesome.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, in several different adjacent to what actually happened realities, this could have been our Optimus Prime power up, basically.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was a excellent response, Anthony. When you said, "Oh yeah, Diaclone Magnus," exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so and because of that, not to be outdone. Let me show you what did you call her? Spin Alita Prime.
Alita Prime.
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you a image of the Alita Prime figure.
I wonder if it's because someone else had posted that within within the conversations. So I want to see if it's the same one that you've come across.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me find mine. Don't show yours yet. You guys talk about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna find the picture and share it.
No, I don't have it was only within the conversation, so I don't have that image with me.
Okay, well give me a sec. I'm gonna find the image rather than just say it.
No,
talk amongst yourselves.
So the other thing is I know there is the Shattered Glass universe, which I haven't read any of those comics. So that's still a new universe for myself. But the one thing that's also interesting, and then a lot of the groups and forums are people saying, "Oh no, we're going with that whole gender switching storyline again of like, what if like the male heroes what if the male heroes took the back burner and we just did the females as the heroes." And it's funny, when people say that, in a sense of like there's been like lead female shows like for years, like Wonder Woman and like many others. So it's not something that just started. That just started. It's the problem of it having like an agenda behind it, where it seems like that's the only thing, but behind the concept. So I mean, some people are like, well, no, like you can't have a female leading the Autobots, and again, what if Hasbro back in '82 decided Alita was going to be the leader of the Autobots? We would, that's what we would have thought of for 40 years. We wouldn't have questioned it.
I was gonna say I haven't read it yet, but I picked up the first issue of Shattered Glass, the new comic on Wednesday.
Nice.
I'm gonna see what that's all about. As talk about what ifs.
Yeah. And then someone did bring in the interesting point of if we go back to Orion, Ariel, and Dion, with again Dion being just kind of written out of the storyline, the whole other variation, if we go within the Captain America and Peggy storyline, is Alita is like analogous to Peggy. Optimus is analogous to Steve. Ultra Magnus then becomes the Winter Soldier or Winter Decepticon, where in a sense, Dion, we don't see whatever happens to him, but in the background, he's captured by the Decepticons, and then he becomes like a mental, like his mind is taken over from the Decepticon. So he's the Winter Decepticon.
I mean, it's still officially unknown whatever happened to Dion, so they don't even need to go. What if a future story could just bring that? Could just make that happen?
Yeah, I mean that's the only unfortunate thing with the G1 series is they left a lot of plot holes or storylines that could have expanded, and I just never went through with it.
I was gonna say I'm interested in and what you think Elita Prime would look like, because I got my own picture, though it's a fairly obvious one. Yeah, let me pop this up. What about
That's not Elita Prime.
Number 7.
Close. Yes. I got it though. I got it right here.
Okay.
I think. What the hell? Oh, okay, I see.
Pay attention
There
to
we go.
Grapple's bumper.
Boom.
Okay.
Are you seeing? Is this working now?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not what I was thinking.
Nicey. You guys know this figure?
I've seen that figure.
Yes.
I had it on pre-order, and then I just didn't bother paying the pre-order, and it was like this figure was $80, and like now, and then as soon as it sold out, it was like $200.
Wow.
Bill has her, yeah, and everybody who got it said it's an awesome figure. It's an amazing figure. So, I think Bill says he loves her. Everyone who's reviewed her says like it's an amazing figure. And so when this figure was initially released, it was like an elaborate RC. It was initially supposed to be RC, and they had an RC like face. And then last minute they decided not to release the RC face, and so it had this face instead. But now they're selling the RC head, so you can buy that head and stick it on this figure.
Huh.
But we should just make an Alita 1 head. Boom. And there you go, Alita Prime.
TF Collect says Dion becomes Magnus. I like that theory. I think a lot of people has gone with that theory.
Yeah, I've always thought that Dion was either Magnus or before the movie. I always thought of Dion as Ironhide.
Yeah,
right.
Or he could have been Huff.
We were still just
Burgess, because they have the same color scheme.
Right. That's why Huffer is kind of whining a lot. He's like he was like the mighty Dion before. Like now he's just a little Huffer. A shunt.
What about Huffer?
Yeah. Dion became Huffer.
That theory.
Who thought that? Who said that? Was that ever anybody's theory?
I mean, I said that.
No, we just said that.
It's not been my theory, but I've heard it before. I was going to say, I would have just gone with Power of the Primes. Alita 1 is what Alita Prime would look like. Just because she's like a built-up large version that even changes into a jet like Leader 1 or something. And she can combine too, but I'm not necessarily thinking of that angle.
That would make sense.
It's just obviously like a larger, more powerful take on the design already. So, that's kind of Prime-ish.
Right.
It works.
Like Jetfire armor version. Like Jetfire armor.
Yeah, basically.
Well, Calvin says that he has this version.
Yeah.
I've got it too.
Okay.
You know what I did? Actually, let me just show you.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Bill has said the nice. Was it nice or nicey?
Nicey.
Nicey. That she's the breast one. Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Well, that depends. That's true unless you got that one upgrade kit that was actually made by some third party for the Fans Toys.
It's immensely cursed. Immensely cursed.
What'd you say?
I said it's immensely cursed. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's cursed.
Wait, cursed in which way?
It may be cursed, but it also may be the breast one. There can only be... That's not true. I was going to say,
Bill, you have to be joking. And the thing is, like, I was trying to avoid going down that road because there are some groups, one group in particular where, at a certain point, they forget that RC, or Alita were like just toys and cartoons, and they just go down like a really dark road in terms of a very
then I
dark
wish
road.
you all you guys would stop being such fucking prudes. Here's what they should do. Bill, tell me if I'm right or not. They should do a Jessica Rabbit repaint of Nicey. Boom! That would sell.
I mean, look.
Tell me I'm wrong. Jessica Rabbit version. Talk about crossover.
And who are we selling these to?
Yeah.
People who like cool shit and are not prudes. How about that?
Who are
Who
not
like sex positive and not like, oh my god, girls, gross. Girls and robots? No. Why are two most amazing things in the world like we're not allowed to like both at the same time?
Mm.
You never heard of transforming? Never mind.
You just made him leave.
If Alita 1 gets the Matrix leadership, she would become a bigger sports car with armor tech like Ultra Magnus. I agree, Calvin, and that's why Nicey, Nicey fits. And then we just need like a truck add-on. So basically, less like Ultra Magnus, more like Rodimus Prime. Right?
Somebody did a custom at one point of Alita 1 as a long nosed truck, and I'm like, that's pretty much what I picture for that.
They did a custom of her looking like what?
Like changing into a long nosed truck. Yeah,
A long nosed car?
Yeah, like an Optimus type truck. They 3D printed it.
Like, was it more like Rodimus or was it more like Optimus?
Hang on, I'm gonna pull a picture out. Print it eventually. So these are just like scratch built files. I'm just gonna replace the one that's up here.
Oh, cool.
Oh, is it up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was neat.
Yeah. So like same idea. They eventually
3D. Is that an actual mock-up?
Yeah. Like they were at one point working on 3D printing it, because they made like a CAD file for it. I don't know what stage they're at now, but I was following it with some interest for a while.
Can you put that? Can you paste that link in the comments here on Facebook?
Yeah, sure.
Or just paste it. Yeah, anywhere in the comments.
That's actually pretty cool. I mean, that's funny.
dope.
That falls like right into the topic.
Spin. It's like if we didn't have this guy Anthony, we'd have to hire him. Like you ask a question and he's like got all the images that like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
just like
not just the answers. Like here's the images for here's the sources for. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That is dope.
All right, I've posted
Anthony,
the thread in the comments.
Nice, beautiful.
And in fact, let me post the thread here and just show you one of the pictures of the completed model.
Okay, that's dope. So is this Transformers? Like, do you know who's making this? Look, Spin is sweating. He's getting so excited.
This guy, Waffle.
Obviously, for him, Nicey is not the best one. For him, Spin don't give a truck. This is the one he wants.
Yeah, so this was back in wow. Oh no, sorry. This was when was this posted? This is September 2020, so it's like a year ago. So I don't know where he's at now, but this was where he was at. Made the CAD model, was doing test prints.
What's the guy's name?
Yeah, just Waffle.
I mean, looks like he's doing good work there.
Yeah. I wonder how far he's advanced since then.
So have you guys seen? You
I
guys
mean-
have seen a few of the figures that people have been printing and selling online, have you not?
Yeah, I saw somebody was 3D printing missing members of the Beast Wars cast the Kingdom hasn't done, like Pterosaur and Inferno and
Oh,
stuff.
that's neat. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I take me a bit of time to look them up. Oh god, I've lost the original window. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
You're on mute.
Present for Anthony that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, is that for Galvatron?
That is. I finally got the battery, so I tried out today.
Oh, excellent. It's like open heart surgery right live on air.
Yes.
So
You just handed him the batteries over the screen, and now he's opening it.
yeah.
It's magic, isn't it?
That's pretty cool. How did you guys do that?
Movie magic.
Okay, so I'm back. What are you guys talking about?
All right, so check this out. This is Printformers on Etsy.
Okay. Yep.
So you can buy the STL files, which are the 3D printing files, for his Scorpionox or Black Zark. Or you could buy the printed, painted versions here for a mere $430.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like it's a lot of.
He made a Power Master Prime. $30 just for the files. You print it yourself, or $260. He printed.
I'm gonna ask
yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask a really dumb question here.
Not you.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe that? How is it possible that, for example, we do a video on YouTube here, and we have like a little clip of Transformers, whatever, and it gets copyright, and yet you have these guys over here. They're literally doing like 3D printing, or they can even give you the files or whatever cases for you to print these Transformers.
Look at how dope that is.
And they don't get copyright or penalized. Like, how do they get away doing this?
The copyright thing, as I tried to explain to you before, is done by an algorithm. So it's not an individual seeing it, right? With the wrestling stuff that you were talking about, with the stuff like that, it's just AI that's like reading the sounds or reading the images, right?
I get that. I'm talking about specifically these guys that are doing this 3D printing. How are they able to get away with?
Because there's no algorithm. Because there's no. I just answered you. Because there's no algorithm running on Etsy.
No, it's a different topic, because we're not talking about the copyright in terms of like YouTube. Like, this is more of a copyright in terms of like selling another company's like product, which companies have been taken down for doing. Yeah.
Like, imagine I open up a website and all I did was, like, I'm not saying knockoffs, but similar to this kind of style of Transformers. You're telling me Hasbro at one point would not be knocking on my door or send me a letter that's saying, hey, stop, cease and dismiss?
Yeah, well,
that has happened with Disney, with a company that I think was selling either Nemo or it was either Nemo or like some of the mermaid stuff that was under Disney, and Disney did go after them for it.
Disney is known for going after. Disney will go after anybody, like no matter how petty it is. But in general, the reason why Hasbro's not going after this guy, is because it's too small. The business is too small. If he was, this is not at the level of even a third party, right? So all the third parties, they couldn't operate in the U.S., right? If they're putting out their third party Metasaurs or all that kind of stuff, they can't do that in the U.S. But something like this,
they have to do it in China.
Small. This is closer to like you like drawing your pictures of Optimus Prime and like selling them to your friends, right? Technically, that's also copyright infringement, but it's too small a business for them to bother with. Like, you know, their lawyer, you know, in an hour to draft up the papers costs, you know, as much as you selling your you know, one Optimus Prime or whatever. So, but if this guy got, you know, started doing tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, then yeah, they'd be on him.
Well, that was the one thought I had where, you know, when people like make like the knockoff Nikes, knockoff like, you know, Gucci bags and stuff, where if it's like you're selling like 2 or 3 on the weekend, you're completely off the radar. But then when it gets to the point where like you have an entire mall where it's like people every 5 minutes are buying these knockoffs, and it's like, you know, these stores are profiting off of this stuff,
impacting the business.
Are you saying Pacific Mall?
I didn't mention any names.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just one out of the many that exist, you know, where there are many malls where, you know, they're known for that. Like knockoffs are like everyone goes to the mall for the knockoffs, and you know the mall's selling that.
So are you trying to say, in a nutshell, if you want to make hundreds and thousands of dollars doing this, you need to operate in small cells?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
but don't take our advice. We're not giving anyone advice on how to do this.
So think about it like peer to peer, right? Like, so remember we were talking about like, okay, you know, this is like the future of third party. Remember when we were having that discussion?
Yep.
But you know, then how could we do it, right? Because if we wanted to make our own Alpha Trion figure, you know, like, and then promote it on our channel, we can't really do that, right? Like all the third parties, you know, there's no actual face attached to any of that stuff. So one way it could be done is like if all the intellectual property is dispersed, right? Like in a peer-to-peer thing. So it's like nobody owns the file, nobody has the file. We all have little pieces of it.
So one has a leg, one has an arm, one has a head, and then we all put it together.
Yeah, but not, right?
It's getting dangerous.
It's like it's impossible to take down the post because it's like all the little bits are all over the internet.
You can't stop the signal.
Time for transforming.
Time for transforming. Galvatron has a new 9-volt battery after at least 20-something years.
And there was no calcium buildup?
No. Well, he has
nail a 2-hour podcast today. Why don't we like do our highlights and our wrap up for the next 10 minutes?
Well, his eyes are
Murder Prime.
Murder Prime.
Murder Prime.
After prime time.
Okay, so is
there we go. Galvatron speaks. I don't know what he's saying.
He's farting.
Man, I didn't remember him sounding that bad. Man, that sounds like a fucking fart.
I know it.
There we go. Live on Children of Primus.
That sounds like a Tonka truck honk. It's a cow. It sounds like a fucking cow. I think Murder Prime has officially started. I think we're on the air with Murder Prime at this point.
Yep, that is the Murder Prime.
That's your laser gun? That's your laser gun sound?
That's my laser gun sound.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my Radio Shack Shockwave.
Oh,
that's what I was
variation.
Okay, it's Murder Prime. It's officially Murder Prime.
But you know the funny part is,
I no longer
still have the
enjoy
same battery.
everything that happens on this channel.
No, but I still have the same battery in here when I bought it.
Oh boy.
I
Well,
haven't
see,
changed the
How is
battery
that
at all.
possible? How the
No,
hell
that
is
would
Let's-
possibly get calcium buildup because like
I know, but
Galvatron,
let's see if it works.
yeah, like the battery hasn't been in there. Okay, let's see
No,
if yours
wait.
works.
No, I guess I got to change the batteries to them.
Oh,
This
after
doesn't-
saying he's got the same battery since he was a kid, he's like, oh my god, they don't work all of a
live
sudden.
on air.
I know, yeah.
Did
But
it just
you
die
know
live
what?
on air?
You know what? This doesn't look right. That's all I'm gonna say. How'd you get excited?
Yeah, like it's the first time you figured that out.
You know, between Galvatron, between Shockwave and Megatron.
Yeah. I thought, you know what? I thought it was working because, I never really did a lot of shots with this stuff. Damn you, Shockwave, Radio Shack.
See, what's interesting with the Galvatron is the top button works, but not the button in the back for his gun mode. So I don't know if he needs to be transformed for it to work.
All right, well, he's back. Darn. I want to know if my Omega Supreme still works. Because I never changed the battery in that one either, too.
You know, the few transformers that were battery powered, between Shockwave. Well, I mean, battery powered of either lights and sounds or them actually moving like Skylynx and Omega.
Yeah, but like the original was Shockwave.
Yeah.
And who else? Omega. Well, he kind of came a little afterwards, but I'm just saying like the original. I think it was only Shockwave.
I think it was only Shockwave. Yeah, and then Omega, and then Triptychon and Skylynx probably about the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's right. Triptychon. I forgot it. He did the walk.
And then Skylynx, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a question. What would you prefer? Would you prefer more of that kind of gimmick in your Transformers?
With the lights and sound?
Yeah, the lights and sound, or the talk, or even, when I say sound, maybe like some words kind of thing, like some phrases.
I mean, the words were kind of... The words are okay. Actually, you know what? No, because that would be later. I'm thinking of the G2 Optimus Prime, where he had like that little talking sound. I think saying "I'm Optimus Prime," where I think that's okay. Maybe the first few times, and then after that, like it's probably just annoying.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not a big gimmick guy myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's more on the function.
Yeah, you know what? If I had to pick gimmick, there's probably maybe two gimmick I wouldn't mind. Like if any of the blasters, making noises, right? Or maybe like some phrases. Like, Megatron going to Scarsroom, I see you failed me again. Something like that, right?
Let me show
cool
you
little
a
phrases.
I actually do like.
Yeah.
This is a 96 Beast Wars Rat Trap. Or rather, this is the reissue they just put out because I just picked them up. And a lot of the first year small Beast Wars guys had a really basic auto transformation. So you just pull his tail and, maybe adjust it a little bit. And then that's done. He's in his robot mode. He's still got ball. Okay. He's still got ball joints. He's still properly articulated. Still got all the stuff you'd expect out of a figure. He just also happens to be a one-step transformer. You just pull the tail back, and it's a rat again. And so that's the only gimmick I'm really a fan of. And even then, only when it's executed like this, because they didn't it didn't inhibit the figure itself like a lot of one-step changers today are like bricks mostly. But no, this is just like a proper transforming figure, just with the joints and the guns and everything.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a jump starter.
Yeah, basically the same idea, except like the jump
Yeah.
stories were like G1 levels of non-posability, whereas this has like the ball joints and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
and his
Interesting.
weapons hidden in two parts, just inside of his skin here. So
See, that's one thing I that's probably maybe like another gimmick. I know they do it now, in a sense of they have like you could tab your weapons, on back of certain transformers and stuff like that, right? But back in G1 days, if you lost that gun
oh yeah,
or that blaster, it's gone,
Yeah,
right?
it's gone.
Whereas I like that little gimmick there with Rap Chat where you can kind of like just like a little compartment for the gun to go into, and you can't lose it, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
split in half and it went in here and hid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that as like a person with a lot of figures because if they have storage space on them, I just keep their accessories there and I don't have to worry about
Yeah.
losing them.
Yeah, I used to have like a box, and we used to put all the weapons in there, and then after that, it gets lost, man.
Yeah.
But not so when this is the feature.
That is true.
Funny, I would say in terms of gimmicks, like a battery powered gimmick would adding an actual like little radio inside of Blaster or a sound wave. Because like I've always imagined like actually
Yeah.
taking out the speakers and just putting in like the same like little mini headphone speakers from like the old Walkmans.
Yeah,
Which
that would be-
funny enough, nowadays
seems like a
like
no-brainer. Like, why they didn't do like an
Wait.
MP3 player version of that?
They did.
Yeah.
Music label Soundwave.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
but one that actually looks good.
Yeah.
right.
Is that the original?
When you were talking about the
That's
talking,
original.
Oh, okay.
when you were talking about the ability of like the gimmick of talking toys, I think that they actually would be good. The problem is that the implementation is so often really crappy, right? So if you had number one, the sound quality is really garbage a lot of the time. And then number two, the phrases are like random. So like if you're playing with it, you
Yeah.
don't know what it's going to say. But if you have
Right.
like a couple of the key phrases and it's like a good sound quality with a reasonably good little speaker in there, and it just says like, the three top catchphrases of that character, I think that would be a good play feature.
Yeah. And it's funny looking at Blaster, which I don't know if you kind of notice, whereas like, on the back it says like output 8 ohms and for earphones. So,
I tried
it's
to
like a
open that
lot
up
of
one time.
devices.
I
Sorry?
actually see. I tried to open up that one time with my little screwdriver just to really see if that was real when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
And like Blaster is such a basic transformer, right? And he's so big, like there's
Yeah,
no
but it
excuse. Like
works.
you have all the space to put the stuff in there. Spin, why don't you just make a kit?
Well, the funny thing is if you look
Make an
at
Arduino kit. Make
but
an
look
Arduino
right
kit.
here. The screws are missing because I attempted this, like, I think back in like 87, 88, of taking it apart and adding like little headphones into it.
Do you guys know what Pi Nano is?
Pi
Presumably
Nano.
a Raspberry Pi type thing, I guess.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the new Raspberry Pis are so tiny. You can stick them in anything. We should make like kits to add on to your transformers.
That would be cool. Of course, doing it with Soundwave would be a little bit harder. But I mean, Blaster has the space for
Blaster
that
definitely has the
adaptability.
Definitely. But with the tiny ones, with the new microcontrollers, so you could probably fit them in Soundwave as well.
Oh, that's crazy! Like I didn't even see this like on the Soundwave. Takara in 1974.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I remember looking at that. I was like, what?
So it's in terms of like the concepts, like really they were probably sitting down and drawing this out from at least like the mid 60s.
Yeah. It's wild to think about.
I know.
With the truck. Like, yeah, it is interesting. I don't think they had those. I don't think they had those tape decks in the '60s, though. I think that was early '70s.
Right.
So, Mikey, or Spin,
Hmm?
you see at the very back where it has a writing,
Yep.
and there's like that little line in between.
Yep.
Did you ever try to pop that open?
Wait, hold on. A line in between?
Yeah, there's like this part here looks like it could pop off. Could pop off. Do you ever try to do that?
No. Which version is that? Mine doesn't have that.
Oh, this is the original, man.
That's interesting. Mine doesn't have that.
Pew pew. Oh, yours doesn't have that?
No.
See if you see. Hold on, let me see if you can see that. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can see the line on yours. 'Cause on mine, it's he doesn't have
It's solid?
that. He doesn't have that line. It's solid.
Okay, so if you can see, I don't know if you could tell, but you see all those scratches?
Yeah.
I thought I could pop that off, and for some other reason, I thought there was like some radio thing in there that I can like use or play or whatever.
I mean, it's possible that the idea was there.
Guys, I've gone to the Transformers wiki. Pop my window open and read this paragraph.
I can't read that.
Okay, I will read it. Blaster began life as the microchange Radicast Robo radio cassette, which was actually a functional AM radio. Though this feature
That's what I thought. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Though this feature was gutted from Blaster when he was released as a part of the Transformers toy line, the original toy's power switch on his right leg, earphone jack on the back of his left leg, and tuning dial on his chest still remain, now as molded non-moving details.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry. Let me pause you one sec. Anthony. You know what Anthony's bringing to our attention? It's something that actually we've repressed because we didn't want to believe it. But like this is some information we knew, and then we just blocked it out of our heads because it was too painful. Because the truth is, Japan did it right, and Hasbro fucked us over. Okay, Hasbro, like,
fuck you, Hasbro.
Lottie, listen. Well, yeah,
I am listening. I'm backing you up, man.
Lottie, look, you see how we were saying, like, okay, well, Star Saber, I don't know, I don't care. Look, all the best fucking shit, all the riders that were supposed to go in our Transformers, like, the whole reason why we think the fucking Transformers are sentient. Like, the Transformers are not sentient. They're just robots, okay? They're mech suits. And then the Hasbro guys were like, whatever, we don't have to make the little guys do. We will just tell them that the robots are alive. Who fucking cares? Just sell them the shit. Give them half the toy and tell them that's the way it's supposed to be. We got fucking ripped off. They gutted they gutted Blaster. Give us a fucking dead toy. They give us a toy that does not work. It's missing the electronics. And they sell it to us as like, no, it's just supposed to be like that. Fuck you, Hasbro.
Oh boy.
But he's right. No, but he's right. I have to back him up 1,000% on this.
I'm just like,
that's
the
entire
planet Cybertron and 2 of its moons are very mad.
Yep.
These nuts. No, but you know what? That was a Murder Prime moment, okay? Because it's true what D is saying. After what we just learned right now, after all these times that I was in the back with my little screwdriver, marking all this up, trying to open this thing just to see if this thing actually worked. And if I had opened that up, I would have been gutted. Just like this Transformer was gutted of his radio. I would have been gutted knowing that this could have been a radio. And like what D said, fuck you, Hasbro. Murder
fuck
Prime.
You. Bullshit. Shit is bullshit.
So for that, pew, pew, pew. That's all I gotta say.
Pew, pew. Pew, pew. Pew, pews all around.
All right. That was our Murder Prime moment.
Pew, pew. Yeah.
Ready for this? As Unicron and Galvatron are,
God.
Sounds like a fire alarm, like a smoke alarm.
It does.
It is a fire alarm. A bunch of fire shots at what's it called, Hasbro for gutting us of an opportunity of actually
figure was
listening to an AM FM radio right here that could have transformed. Okay, do you know how long it took me to buy this? You know how long? You know how many bottles of pops that I had to go and collect and beg? Do you know how many times I had to say to my friends, "Are you done with that? Could I have that?" And cans
get
as well
blaster?
too. You know how many times? Yeah, man. You know how many times I went to the convenience store over there in
Blaster
Shoreham?
was a mail away? You got Blaster as a mail away?
No. I'm talking about all the money that I had to scratch, like, hustle in a sense, just to buy this, man.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly.
And
Yeah, I think
just the fact
got mine
because
Yorkdale, I
Fuck,
think,
man.
what was it? I think it was like $14 back then.
What do you mean, Yorkdale? What are you, a trader? You're supposed to go to Gina Finch Mall, man. What's wrong with you at Towers? Gotta represent the hood, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, Hudson Bay back then, you used to have an impressive shelf of Transformers they were selling. So between Towers, Hudson Bay, consumers distributing, like those were like, the go-to for Transformers.
Did you take an Alita 1 head and put it on a Zeta Toys RC?
There's your Alita Prime right there.
That's funny because of how the Netflix one is a retool of RC, so it's pretty close to that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's certainly an image.
Is that not the best looking Alita 1 that you've actually seen in physical reality?
I haven't seen the Netflix one in physical reality, so for now I have to agree.
Oh, come on. The Netflix one's going to be all kibbly. Look at this. Look, this actually has paint on it. And it's going to have gaps. This doesn't have the gaps.
I would say that this has been the best looking one. Because then I was going to question, why has Alita been so... I mean, between RC and Alita, like, designing them, like, they've just... It almost seems sloppy compared to, like any other Transformer that exists.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to say,
you guys... What you say, Oladi?
No, I was gonna say is that it's about time that they gave some prop and recognition to Alita 1. It's always been RC, but it's finally it's nice to see that they're propping up.
I never liked that.
Alita
Like
1
even in
that.
the movie, in the movie when like RC just popped up, I was the whole time I was expecting Alita 1 to show up at some point. I'm like, where's Alita 1? Well, who's this new chick? No new friends.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that RC took over. It would have been nice for Alita 1.
That alt mode looks so trash.
Yeah, it's all
That is the word. Like the figure doesn't look too bad. I think I have the figure. I haven't unboxed it because if I unbox it, I'll transform it. If I transform it, I'll throw it against the wall. So it's better to just keep it in the box.
Yeah, I freely admit I have the RC and Lifeline versions. It's not a great alt mode, but they did put a lot of extra work into the robot mode. So, in terms of bad alt modes, at least it's one you can easily change it into, even if you're just shelling it up. Real nice robot mode though, like really articulated.
Yeah. Do you now the head that I have on this figure right here? Do you know where this head came from?
Is that the Power of the Primes one? Because it looks like it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Scale's real
Now,
nice.
The Power of the Primes is a bigger figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than the Alita one you're showing right here.
Yeah, it's a Voyager.
But still, this head you see on this figure that I have here. This head is too small for the body. That's the only problem with what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I was just thinking now, like looking at the head on the Alita one you're showing, it's like that head looks a bit big for that body.
Yeah.
But if I put it on this figure, it'll still probably be too small.
Yeah, you never know. It might.
Fine, Anthony. If you insist, I'll go get it.
I mean, the Netflix Lita ones that one of those figures where I'm like, if I'd seen one, I probably would have gotten one. I just wasn't willing to hunt it down online. It just never showed up locally. That's it's like that sort of like mid tier in terms of like stuff I'm after. I'm like, if it appears before me, I will have it, but only if that happens.
It's hilarious.
I could just see me gesturing in the background on a time delay and behind the Lita one there.
Oh yeah, that looks funny. Well, I think we've come to the conclusion part of another episode of our Frenzy Freestyle Sundays. So cool. Before we get into the final round, anyone watching, contribute to our Patreon. It's a patreon.childrenofprimus.com. As we slowly build up our channel, and you can visit our website, childrenofprimus.com, where you can buy, sell, any type of Transformers related products, DVDs, comic books, figures, if you're looking to acquire more. And we also have the latest news on Transformers, including, including a talented articles, our articles from our talented writer Anthony on Mondays and Fridays. And what do we expect for tomorrow, Anthony?
Oh, I got something real interesting. It's a look back at an older slice of premium fandom collecting. This is a Reveltech. They did 4 of them in around 2007. I have all 4 of them, and I took a look back at them. Optimus, Hot Rod, Megatron, Starscream. A reminder of a time when Masterpiece and third party was much less common, and so it felt like everybody who was a collector that wanted something premium had all 4 of these guys, and I just wanted to see how they held up in 2021. So I give them like a big breakdown and photo shoot about what they got going on. It's really interesting set of figures. Yeah.
Nice.
When did those come out? 2004, you said?
07, 08, like in the wake of the original Bay movie, when everybody was suddenly hungering for retro stuff and they were just scrambling.
And what head do you think is better between the 2 RCs?
The 2 RCs?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, Alita ones. Power of the Primes or the Netflix one?
I kind of like the Netflix one better, but I just think it fits the whole sort of unique look that it has going on.
Look at this. Look at what I got going on here.
What is going on there?
That shit is looking Can you see it well enough?
Yeah. It's a little crunchy, but it's within acceptable bounds.
Oh yeah, you got full screen there.
Mm-hmm.
So
zoom in.
Yeah, so you see the 2. So right now she's wearing the Power of the Prime's head, and then you see the Netflix one. I think the Netflix one, yeah, it is smaller, but the paint does look better.
Yeah.
The faces themselves are about the same size, but the head, she's got a wider sort of helmet on the Power of the Primes one compared to this one here. So I don't think it's going to look better sticking this one on. I think
why is it that
too small?
I was going to say, why is it Takara always have nicer box art than the Hasbro version?
Because Japan is better.
Yep.
Because America's just a ripoff.
To put it more accurately, Takara stuff tends to be pitched more explicitly towards the collector's market than Hasbro stuff.
Yeah, it's like when I go look at a Transformer in Toys R Us.
The collector's market is just another name for like discerning taste.
Perhaps.
Like quality.
Yeah, no, but every time I've gone to Toys R Us and I'm looking at a Transformer, right, or like a figure, And I'm looking at the box and I'm like, sometimes it turns me off from buying the figure. But when I look at a Takara box, I'm like, you know what? I like this.
It gets you hyped, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the quantity over quality. In the hands of Hasbro, they're focused more on the quantity of how much they can sell. On the Takara side, they put the quality into it. And I mean that plays out with TV shows and stuff where a lot of American TV shows were actually originally based in like Britain, in Japan and other places, and the American version tried to play off of like what was created elsewhere. It's funny. It's like within my field of being an IT, there was a very popular IT show that was popular in Britain. They tried to make a US version of it, and it didn't work. Like it just fell through. But then you look at The Office, huge. Huge in the States, but it was originally a British show or an English show.
Because here's like a Takara figure right here, right? My Megatron one here.
Oh yeah, Henkei.
Yeah, and I look at the box and I'm like, this is really nice, man.
Nice.
Like I bought this because of the box, really. At the end of the day.
Right.
And then obviously because it's one of the last Transformers that turns into a gun, one of the last Megatron that turns into a gun, right? Gun mode. And it's like, this is really nice, man. Like I want to buy this. But I'm pretty sure if the same figure in an American box, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it. I don't know. Let me see. What's the price again? Yeah, forget it. I'll buy it.
Yes, it's fast food versus good food.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
TF
Collect just made the same point as you're making, Spin. But you know what just popped in my mind. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. But I wonder if like think about it. You know what the population of Japan is?
No, I mean astronomically different from our
50 million, 30 million.
It's probably comparable to Canada.
Wait, that little?
Yeah, it's an island. Canada's the second biggest country, like by mass in the world.
Right, but not by population. Yeah, that is
but
correct.
Japan is an island. It's a tiny island. So, if I had to guess, I'd say between 11 and 30 million. I think it might be 30 million.
Okay.
But that's 1/10 of the U.S. population.
Right.
So if you think about this, this is a basic business principle, right? When you're talking about profit versus volume, right? You make an equal amount of profit if you sell, or you make an equal amount, let's say net sales, right? You make an equal amount of net sales if you sell 10 items, $100
At a higher
each,
price.
or 100 items, $10 each, right? Exactly the same thing. Now, if you got a population which is 1/10 the size, right? Then the option of selling, 100 of these things might not be on the table, right? So it may make more sense to try to sell 10 $100 items than to sell 100 $10 items. But when you have a huge population, that that math might work out different. Right, it might take less effort to sell 100 of the $10 items.
Which is funny. Which is funny. Is like that played out in music as well, where it's like you're putting out whatever music and you can only sell a handful of it within Canada. You go somewhere else that has a bigger population and that's more appreciative. Like you're just selling out like within minutes. Mike, you were saying?
No, I was gonna say,
you have the probably shouldn't put in the more appreciative part, right? Because like if it's more appreciative, that's a different thing. But if it's really just like you gotta, there's people who appreciate your music in Canada. There's people who appreciate your music in the U.S. But there's 10 times more of every kind of person in the U.S.
And it's funny that a lot of people don't realize that, and they'll complain, well, why didn't this come to Canada? And it's like, why did they, why did they skip Canada? I'm like, well, on the business side of it, they're not going to put that much. Yeah, they're not going to put that same amount of money to make, lesser sales. They'll keep it where they're getting their returns back.
So I was just gonna mention, you have both boxes right there, right? The American and the Japanese, and you can see right there. Like my eyes is gravitating more towards like to Takara versus the Hasbro.
Well, those are both American boxes, though.
No, sorry, that they're both Takaras.
No,
These are.
those are.
Oh, they do.
They're both Takaras.
Takara told me. So these are off the shelf in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the difference is one is the Netflix special.
Yeah,
the one
okay.
on the left is Netflix, but
usually, I was about to say usually the Takara boxes are more like the box art towards the left, right, which I kind of like more.
Yeah, this is nice one. This one here, right? Yeah. Well, this is also like where they start putting here. They started doing the smaller windows, right? Which is a relatively new thing. But to be fair, like the all the recent stuff, the trilogy, this War for Cybertron trilogy, like they did a great job with the box art.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For all of that. So like what you're saying is true, with respect to lots of stuff, but Hasbro did it right with this stuff here. Mm-hmm. Maybe Kingdom is, a little bit less so just because of
Kingdom is very narrow, it's very rectangular. It's like this and oval on the sides, right? Like it rounds it off
right,
on the side.
because they're trying to save on plastic and do more paper. But the thing that we didn't talk about enough when we did our Kingdom review is Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck happened to these dinosaur bone characters?
They just didn't make it onto the show. They opted to CGI models are expensive, and they opted to spend their budget putting the old show cast on the show. Regrettably,
I don't understand the concept of those bone characters. Doesn't that feel like
a total betrayal to the fans who bought those toys under the understanding okay, I don't know what the fuck these bones are. They're gonna be weapons on something, but obviously when the show comes out, it's gonna make sense. So I guess I'll buy it. Now you bought it. Now it don't make no sense.
Well, it's the same way that the Micro and Battle Masters didn't appear at all in Siege and Earthrise, despite being one of the central things of the line. And only one weaponizer appeared on the show, Cog, and none of the modulators appeared on the show. So, all in general, they weren't great at advertising the lines because they just had to do the same thing as Beast Wars did back in the day, where they just picked a handful of people and threw them in. Which is, I'm not even defending it. I'm just that's what happens.
Right.
And that's why I liked more Transformer Prime Beast Hunters versus the Beast Wars. And that could be probably a topic for another time.
That's true. Yeah, because I know I did ask that a couple of weeks back, and it's and they come out with a line, they come out with these characters, but these characters aren't in the show. So exactly what's the what is the plan behind that?
Yeah, but it's one thing. It's one thing for a couple characters not to be in, but for this this whole sort of like a category of characters, I think it makes it more egregious.
And I mean, well, actually, funny enough, tying in with the box art, before we wrap up, and it kind of goes to the earlier conversation in terms of between collectors and and those that just love Transformers, or that's just buying it for the sake of. There a lot of people, I guess, that didn't get into it in the original sense, didn't realize that it wasn't just about the toy. It's the excitement of getting the little red decoder card, the tech specs, the actual package, the instructions, the box art on the back. you go through all of that, and then you play with the toy. Like there's just many steps to it. But it's just as the line got further down the line, it's like, well, the box art isn't that good. Like the tech specs are kind of looking a little cartoonish, and it's like you start taking little things out of it, and then the toy's like just kind of like bad quality. So you're just kind of turned off from the whole thing.
Well, I think that's what happened to a lot of us. That's why we kind of stopped collecting for a little bit, right?
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting looking at the boxes there. It's like, on the shelf between the two, it's like there's, you could see which ones had like the quality put into it, and which ones like, like I just like the box, and I like the robot, and like which one would sell more.
Well, that's where you got to give a little bit of credit back to, and I hate saying this, to Michael Bay. Right, because he basically did a jump start, right? And when those Bay formers came out, what did I do? I did the exact same thing what you just said, Mike. I looked at the box, I was looking at the box art, I was trying to see what specs, I was trying to look for all those things, right? And then I looked at the toy after, right? So a little credit to Michael Bay for that.
Well, we wouldn't be where we are without that. So,
all right. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up.
I think that wraps it up for this week. Freestyle Frenzy Freestyle Sundays. Anything else anyone else would like to add before we say goodnight?
I say we should play a little bit of
Star Saber and Victory Leo in their alternate modes.
The OG versions.
Well, the Robot Masters versions, which is just miniature versions. A big space jet that's kind of a pile of parts, and a big lion with a bunch of wings. It looks very Predacon-like.
A pile of parts.
Yeah. Well, that's what it looks like, and that's what this one looks like. That's what the new one looks like. They're just being accurate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I say we should be playing some Geno beats in the background when we're wrapping things up for our freestyle frenzy.
Oh gosh,
Sunday.
Some Stevie B. And
Exactly.
we do want to say send a shout out for Bill for joining us this evening. Calvin and TF Collect. We thank you for joining us once again.
Calvin's becoming an OG, man.
What do you guys think? Would you vote for a Gem and the Holograms crossover with female Autobots? That's what this kind of looks like to me right here.
Oh, wait! You know what I saw the other day?
Synergy? Synergy hooking up with Teletran?
Yeah.
No, you know what I saw the other day?
It fully works.
Wait, I saw the Ghostbuster. What's called vehicle transformer?
Ectotron. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
the
my son's
Ghostbuster
background,
crossover is crap. I'm talking about Gem and the Holograms, okay? Something quality.
I don't think Gem, honestly enough, has gotten enough shine as she used to. Because what a lot of people don't.
Gem?
Well, what a lot of people don't
goodness.
remember is Transformers and Gem were the pilots to the Fox's Sunday morning cartoons. I mean, because
I can see. No, I was gonna say I can see. What's her face? Gem being like Alita 1-ish because Jen has that voice, that magical voice where Alita 1 had that same thing in G1, right?
Yeah, superpower, special power.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they came out with a Gem movie a couple years ago, which was just terrible. One of those things just for the sake of it. I'm like, again, if they actually put this in Marvel's hands, like they would have actually done it properly and done Synergy and the whole concept of Gem, the Misfits, and there was one other group. They would have actually done the storyline properly for them.
But let's be honest though. The Misfits were better.
I've never watched a single episode of Gem, so I cannot argue with that because I don't.
You should watch it. It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free on Tubi TV. And it's like basically it's basically the same as Transformers. Like you're basically
Yeah.
watching Transformers. So the voices are the same, the plots are the same.
Yeah.
It's just they just stuck some girls in there.
It's
And they're
about a
singing.
band. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And I mean that's what ended up happening for us, where it's like, you know, Saturday morning cartoons were completely packed. So let's introduce this new cartoon called Transformers and Gem on the Hologram on Sundays, you know, and it worked for Transformers.
That's pretty good.
I would
pretty good. And
I would have crossed over Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh,
what about Gem and G.I. Joe? What would you rather have, Gem and Transformers or Gem and G.I. Joe?
I mean, Gem and G.I. Joe would be funny, but Gem and Transformers would make more sense, like thematically, because they're already like out there and science fiction-y, you know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Much cooler.
Calvin, TF Collect has said a great show, guys. Thank you. And Calvin has said that she is in the same universe as Transformers, and I could fully see that.
Yeah, there's a character called Hector Ramirez who was a reporter, and he showed up randomly in Transformers, Gem, G.I. Joe, and Inhumanoids. So like linking them all sort of like quietly. They didn't make a big deal out of it, but the same.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember.
good. That's good.
He was like the Geraldo there.
Yeah, he was.
Exactly. No, that's exactly what he was.
You know, which is funny. And I mean, you know, now that we're, you know, kind of going beyond our wrap it up sequence, if we go back to the what if and we say, well, what if Hasbro didn't buy into Takara, you know, what would have been the popular toy? Like, what if they decided we like Voltron or we like Visionaries or Centurions? Like, what if that became the toy for the next, you know, 40 years?
What would I be doing?
What if the Voltron cartoon didn't suck?
Wait, sorry?
Go bots.
What if the Voltron cartoon didn't suck and wasn't like the exact same episode every episode?
You know, except for one where they actually attacked Blue Line in the first 2 minutes. But I mean, that's one episode out of you know, the handful of them.
Yep.
The mighty go bots.
Easter eggs. Yeah, we're dropping all the Easter eggs this week.
All right, guys. Well, so what do we do next week?
Yeah.
Well, next week we don't have a topic yet, but we will mention it on our Facebook page. Because we're streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and we were also streaming on Twitch. So, you know, we're connecting with everyone. Yep.
Wow.
This is our second week on Twitch. Yep.
Oh, we're on Twitch now?
We are on Twitch now.
Yeah, Anthony, it might even be time for you to get a new camera now that we're on Twitch. Come on. Step up the game, son.
Maybe. I do look a bit vaguely ghoulish on this camera.
All right, guys, it was fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah.
Same here.
Same bot time, same bot channel.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody who joined us. Bill, Calvin, everybody.
TF Collect.
Big up.
Thank you.
Right, and
all right. I guess peace out, guys.